Afternoon in just 1 minute. I know some folks are still going to the buffet line, but we want to stay on time. So I have just a couple of brief chamber announcements to make about some of our upcoming events and activities. But before I get to that, it is, as you know, it's election season, and I'm sure that's good and bad in lots of different ways for everyone. But we do want to give our elected officials the chance that are in the room, as well as our candidates in the room, just simply to stand so we can say thank you for putting yourselves before the voters. And so if you are a current elected official, and I will give a shout out, Mayor Jensen is here and Senator Baldwin's here, and we appreciate it. There we go, and our city councilors. But if you are an elected official, please stand. If you are a candidate, please stand. Running for office is not an easy thing anymore, and so we appreciate your willingness to throw your hat in the ring and serve the people of Noblesville and Hamilton County. I do want to give a shout out. One of the things I like about the fact that we're here with the state of the schools is having our friends from Ivy Tech over here in the corner as a partner, because they are our partner with Noblesville Schools and with all the schools throughout the Hamilton County. But if you're not familiar with Ivy Tech, I would encourage you, before you leave at the end of the day, stop by. They have a whole host of programs and initiatives that will surprise you, because the campus has really come alive with relevant programming and services for employers and their employees and people looking to elevate their careers, and so we'd ask you to stop by and visit them. And I do want to give a shout out to Dr. Joe Forgy, the Hagerman Group, Blades Audio Visual Security, and Church Hile and Antrim, along with the City of Noblesville, for your table sponsorship today. And we have a couple of upcoming events that are in kind of the same realm. Next week, post-election, we have a small business roundtable discussion billed as a fireside chat. We are doing it jointly with the Westfield Chamber of Commerce with Representative Sparts, for her chance for her to talk to the business community about what some of our needs are post-election, and that you can register for that beginning later today online, and that'll be at the Bridgewater Club in the morning. And then the next day, we have a Spotlight on Noblesville, which is a partnership event that we do with the Indy Chamber. They really take the lead on this, and it's a chance for the Indy Chamber, handles regional economic development, to have a conversation with Mayor Jensen, and that's at the Courthouse Club on Friday morning from, I believe it is from 8:30 to 10-ish. I understand registration is extraordinarily limited for that as of right now, so don't go on your phones now to register, but you'd want to do that immediately after today's luncheon. And then we just have a whole host of our holiday events coming up throughout this year, and you'll see some press jointly between all of the downtown organizations and the chamber and the city coming out in the next week or so about some of those holiday activities, and we encourage you to participate with some of those. So that is the extent of my announcements, but I'm thrilled that I get a chance to introduce the person who's going to introduce the superintendent of schools, because it's a person who's a friend of mine, someone who I've worked with for a long time, for my entire time of the chamber career here. Christy Crosser is chair of the Noblesville School Board, but she also is someone who serves the community in so many different ways. She currently chairs our Chamber Foundation Board. She has chaired our Chamber Board over the years, and is involved across the community in nonprofit organizations that advance the health and well-being of our community, the quality of life in our community, and is totally committed to the people of Noblesville having a quality place to live, work, and play. And so, Christy, I'd like to have you come up and introduce the superintendent. Thank you for your service. We appreciate it.
Hello, and welcome to the State of the Schools. I would like to recognize my fellow board members at the table here, if you will please stand. Right here. Thank you, thank you. And in the picture that you're seeing on the screen is Deb Licklider. She is a retired Butler professor, and she helped us with the strategic plan that you'll hear about here shortly. One of my proudest accomplishments while serving on the board has been the hiring and retention of our superintendent, Dr. Dan Hile. Dan came to us as the superintendent of the year from the Fort Wayne area and has continued to grow and strengthen our district and community in so many ways. Recently, Dan was trained as an executive coach through Harvard University and also graduated from the American Association of School Administrators National Superintendent Certification Program. In addition to leading Noblesville schools, Dan also serves as the vice president of the Indiana Association of Public School Superintendents, is a governing board member for the National Superintendent Association, and teaches for Purdue University as part of the doctoral program. His continuous learning and leadership represents Noble Schools positively on the national stage, and he brings the best practices and connections in support of our students, teachers, families, and community. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Hile on his accomplishments and welcoming him to the stage to present the 2024 State of the Schools.
Hi, and welcome back. I cannot believe this is the third time already that I get the honor of standing here before you to talk about our school district, and everything exciting that's going on here. So first off, thank you so much for the kind introduction, Christy, and thank you to all of you for taking time out of your schedules to join us today. I am truly honored and proud to be in my third year of serving as a superintendent here at Noblesville Schools. We have members of our district leadership cabinet and principals here with us today, and so I want to start out by recognizing them for everything that they are doing every day to support our children and our community. So a big thank you to all of our leaders that are here with us today. So before I begin, I always like to start off with just a few reminders of who we are and who we serve here in Noblesville, because I think it's very important to ground ourselves in our community. So just a few reminders. We serve about 10,500 students in grades K to 12. We have approximately 1,800 employees that serve those children. We have 10 school buildings, 3 district buildings, and 17 athletic fields. Our district is about 50 square miles in a perfect square. We have about 300 teams and clubs for our students to get involved in. 27% of our students qualify for free and reduced lunch, and 18% of our students qualify for special education services. So as we get going today, as Mrs. Crosser referenced a minute ago, I'm very excited to share that just last night, our school board approved a new strategic plan for our district here in Noblesville. The plan has been built around the goals that were set for our district by the board and reflects the input that we received from students, staff, families, and our community through our recent strategic survey and listening sessions. So today, I'll be introducing each of these goals and sharing a bit about not only what we are currently doing in those areas, but also a glimpse into what lies ahead. So on your tables, you'll find a card that have the goals on them, and there's a QR code on the back, and that'll take you to more detail about each of these areas if you'd like to review them as we go along, or you can feel free to take it with you today and check those out once you get back home. So here we go. Our very first goal is academic excellence. Our key mission is education, and so our first priority is always academic excellence. This goal is a commitment to preparing and equipping all students for the dynamic challenges of our future. When we were gathering input over the last several months, we asked our community about our role in educating students for the world of tomorrow. In response, 94% of survey respondents said that our district was meeting or exceeding their expectations in this area. This is up from 86% when we asked our community the same question in 2022. In other areas of the survey, academic achievement was also cited as one of the top strengths for Noblesville schools. So a few important statistics. We are very proud of our 98% graduation rate. 45% of our graduates earned specialty honors and or technical diplomas. We had 227 AP scholars with our highest AP honor roll rating ever from the College Board. 87% of our graduates pursue college after high school. 6% go on to vocational or technical training, and about 5% pursue a career in the military. And we offer over 60 dual credit AP and honors courses at Noblesville High School. Our community reaffirmed in our most recent survey that standardized test scores are not as important to them as real-world learning experiences in preparation for college and careers. So even though test scores are not our singular focus like they are in some school districts, we are still very proud that our students perform in the top 4% of public schools in the state on the SAT, and also in the top 10% of public schools in the state for iLearn. Additionally, I'm pleased to share that at Noblesville High School, our class of 2024 earned over $5 million in college scholarship dollars and approximately 6,000 dual high school and college credits, saving their parents hundreds of thousands of dollars in college tuition. So our district has been a leader in the area of workforce development for several years, and we continue to make enhancements to grow student opportunities in career and tech ed. Our internship program continues to be one of the largest in the state, and we have over 250 students engaged in internships throughout the area. We offer 34 different career pathways that students can explore, including manufacturing, architecture, IT, and more. There are currently 3,300 career tech class enrollments at Noblesville High School, as well as another 177 students in partnership programs through ABC Building Construction, the Pursuit Institute, and Ivy Tech. We even have a special vocational internship program for students with disabilities that offers different pathways and levels of support to ensure all of our students can gain real-world experience for purposeful and independent lives while working towards their diploma. I am excited to announce a few new enhancements in this area, which include, we recently entered into a new partnership with Indiana University Kokomo to offer additional dual credit and AP courses for students that are guaranteed to transfer to all public and most private universities here in the state of Indiana. We've developed new in-house career pathways that will start next year, including welding, construction trades, textiles, hospitality management, and exercise science. We're hosting a first-of-its-kind aviation program at Noblesville High School, which serves students from public schools throughout Hamilton County. And we will be opening a new expansion at the high school to create space for all of this growth, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes. I'm also pleased to share that we've been nationally recognized for the 7th year in a row for providing broad access to science, technology, engineering, and math learning opportunities, and are one of only 20 school districts in the United States that have earned this honor. Our programming in this area at the high school has seen a 140% increase in enrollment in the last 10 years, and we're offering these important learning experiences at all grades, kindergarten through senior year. We continue to add new and innovative programs and opportunities for students in the areas of STEM, and many of those programs are made possible due to the financial support that we receive from our community through our referendum. One example you see here on the screen involved research that our senior biomedical and engineering students recently presented to community leaders, answering questions and getting feedback on real-world challenges that they were working to solve. In addition to the new career and technical courses that I've already mentioned, I wanted to share about a few other curriculum enhancements that we've recently made. After an extensive program review that involved educators, students, and parents, we implemented changes this year to our science curriculum at all grade levels. These changes encourage students to not only understand the content, but also learn how to ask better questions, problem solve, analyze data, and become better scientists. We're currently in the process now of doing this type of program review with our English language arts curriculum. I also wanted to provide an update on the new civics partnership and curriculum that I announced last year. The first year of teaching civics to all of our 6th grade students has brought increased engagement, as students are involved in local policy making at their school and in their community. Students are learning how to reach consensus, respectfully interview some of our local change makers, and address problems at the local level. We're excited to see what these young scholars will do in the future and are so thankful for their civics teachers. And our continued partnership with Indiana University's Democracy Quest civics curriculum is bringing history to life through virtual reality. In just a few weeks, our 8th grade students will be the first to experience a lesson that virtually takes students back in time to the first Constitutional Convention. So look for more information to come on that very soon. Very exciting. We have also launched an adult education program to provide opportunities for adults in our community to refresh and improve their academic skills needed to obtain a job, improve English language proficiency, enroll in career training, or even prepare for passing the high school equivalency test so they can earn their GED. This has been especially beneficial for our employees and parents who need support in these areas, but it is open to all Noblesville residents. We currently have 52 students registered for English language classes and 23 students enrolled in adult basic education. And this program is being funded through the Washington Township Schools and Adult Education Program and the Indiana Department of Workforce Development. So the next goal area I want to talk about is focused on the compassionate care and support of everyone that we serve here at Noblesville Schools. So our goal for compassionate care and support highlights our commitment to the well-being and safety of our diverse population. Like all of our goals, this is really at its heart about supporting academics. Students must feel safe, cared for, and have their basic needs met in order to be ready to learn each day. In our recent survey, providing an environment where students feel safe and supported and one in which they can thrive was cited by our community and students as one of the top strengths here at Noblesville Schools. Our district has committed resources, time, and attention to this area over the last few years, and we are continuously looking for ways to improve the daily experiences of the children that we serve. Here are a few key examples. School safety, of course, continues to be top of mind throughout the country, and nothing is more important than the safety of our students and staff. We have dozens of school safety initiatives, but the most important is our partnership with the Noblesville Police Department. I want to thank our mayor, Mayor Jensen, and the Noblesville Police Department for their collaboration and support in this area. As you can see, our Noblesville PD department partners serve as much more than just security in our buildings and at our events. They are important mentors and role models who teach safety curriculum, coach teams and clubs, join our students for lunch, and are a treasured part of our school communities. We are one of only a small number of districts in the state with school resource officers protecting and serving in all of our school buildings. And that's, again, thanks to the financial investment that the Noblesville community has made in our schools. We do continue to see mental health challenges with students, including suicide ideation, depression, and anxiety. We are continuing to invest in mental health support for students so that they can be successful at school. We have 43 counselors and social workers serving our 10,000 plus students, and last year, those individuals provided over 20,000 hours of student mental health service. This is another area that is made possible by the generous support of our community through the referendum. This past year, our employees have been training on a variety of focus areas to support our students, such as suicide, bullying, and abuse prevention, crisis prevention and response, behavior solutions, and also attendance. We're also making self-care resources available to our staff to help them meet their own mental health needs. Another way we support our students is through our Compass Mentoring Program. This program started with just a few students and mentors in 2021 and has grown to 65 mentors serving 78 students in all 12 of our school buildings. Parents of students who are in the mentoring program are reporting to us what a big change they're seeing in their children in terms of building confidence. And while our school staff are also reporting improvements in academics and attendance that they do attribute to the mentoring program. We actually now currently have a waiting list of students who wish to participate, and we are in need of more mentors. We're looking for people who are interested in serving in this way. However, it's been particularly challenging to find those who can converse with our multilingual students and serve as role models for our diverse student population. So if you have a heart for children and can spare a few minutes each month to impact a child's life, I would encourage you strongly to consider this great opportunity to support our students. One of the other key functions of our counseling services is college and career planning. This picture shows a recent career fair that we just hosted for the freshmen at Noblesville High School. So thank you to many of the local businesses and organizations who participated, and I know many of you are here in the room, so thank you again so much for partnering and benefiting our children. We're using career exploration tools to promote learning at all grade levels throughout the district, starting in kindergarten, and supporting college attendance through student boot camps, planning tools, financial support, and more. And also, if you are a business leader here in the room, don't forget we have the Hire a Miller job board on our website for those of you who might be looking for some student employees. So be sure to check that out. Tutoring and additional academic supports outside of the school day and school year is another way that we do continue to support our striving learners. We're excited to announce that our Noblesville Youth Assistance Program is generously funding tutoring for our third grade elementary school students this year. This is over a $30,000 investment in academic achievement, and I want to give them a special thank you. So thank you to NYAP for that. Moving on, our third goal area is exceptional staffing. I think it goes without saying that our teachers and staff are at the heart of our mission, and this goal of exceptional staffing is about our commitment to attract, retain, and develop outstanding employees to best serve our students. We have approximately 750 teachers and 1,800 total employees who serve our children each and every day in our schools. I feel like I need to watch the rest of the pictures before I move on. I talk too fast. I want to take a moment to highlight a few outstanding employees. Many of these individuals are actually here with us today, so I would ask them to stand when I mention your name, and please remain standing until we're done. Bus driver Walt Edwards, quick thinking, recently saved a life by stopping a student from crossing the street just as a car blew past the school bus stop arm. Jennifer Sargent's quick action also saved a life when she acted in her role as a Hazeldale cafeteria aide to successfully administer the Heimlich maneuver to a choking student who was in distress. Noblesville West Middle School Choir Director Alec Axum is our Middle School Teacher of the Year and was recently honored by the Indiana Department of Education for excellence in teaching. Kathy Wilkinson has cared for Noblesville School students with special needs for over 40 years and is our Elementary Teacher of the Year. Inspiring and committed English teacher Howard Jankowski is our Noblesville High School Teacher of the Year. Promise Road Elementary's Nikki Boyle is our overall district Noblesville Schools Teacher of the Year for her exceptional educational leadership and expertise. Noblesville High School's Joe Akers has been recognized as the High School Journalism Advisor of the Year for the entire state of Indiana. Hazeldale Building Supervisor Fred Farley was named the Outstanding School Support Staff Member of the Year for the state of Indiana. Sandy Burnett has been honored as the School Nurse Supervisor of the Year for the state of Indiana. And finally, Christine Stenson is the Indiana Assistant School Food Services Director of the Year. So how about a huge hand for all of our outstanding employees? Of course, these employees are just a small sample of our dedicated staff who work hard every day to serve our students in the Noblesville community, and we couldn't be prouder of them. Survey response indicated that quality educators were the most important factor for student academic success, and I, of course, could not agree more. They also shared that an improvement area for the district was in attracting and retaining quality staff, and we also recognize that challenge. Given the current teacher and overall labor shortages, this does continue to be a strong area of focus here at Noblesville Schools. Our efforts are paying off as we have decreased teacher turnover significantly the last 2 years. We've launched some recent enhancements to help with this, which include a formal teacher mentorship program, thanks to funding from the Noblesville Schools Education Foundation. This program is built to facilitate strong collegial relationships and promote a sense of belonging. It aims to improve teacher retention, and it also provides our very best veteran teachers an opportunity to grow their own professional leadership skills. We've also recently started conducting stay interviews. These are similar to exit interviews, but instead of talking to people when they're leaving our district, we are instead talking to current employees about why they choose to stay at Noblesville Schools. These interviews have given us some great insight into what matters most to our employees and ways that we can improve that experience to ensure that they continue to call Noblesville Schools home. We've recently started a new discussion group representing our support staff employees to ensure that they have a voice in decisions and an opportunity to ask questions and provide us with critical feedback. We also started our new Gratitude Gala celebration earlier this year, again, thanks to the generous funding provided by NSCF. This is a special evening where we honor retirees, all of our Teachers of the Year, and a new program of support staff award winners. I shared a minute ago that recruiting and hiring continues to be an area of focus, and we are regularly benchmarking area school districts and businesses to ensure our compensation and benefits remain competitive. As a result of our most recent teacher contract negotiations, we currently have a close second highest starting salary for teachers in Hamilton County. This is once again due primarily to the referendum funds that our community has provided for our district, and we remain thankful for that continuous support. We've recently made changes to our paid time off model, which has streamlined tracking and offered much more flexibility for our staff. And we recently launched a new financial planning tool for our staff called Your Money Line, with the goal of providing our staff with peace of mind and the ability to plan for their personal long-term financial stability. So earlier this year, you may have seen that we were happily surprised to learn that we were named one of America's best mid-size employers by Forbes magazine. This recognition was based on all mid-size employers throughout the United States, not just schools and not just Indiana. We were rated number 18 in the nation, which was the highest of any mid-size organization in Indiana. And to show you why so many of us love working at Noblesville Schools, here's a quick video to give you a glimpse into what makes our employee culture so special. It's a great place to be. Moving on, our next goal area is strategic capital and resource management. Strategic capital and resource management is truly at its heart about our commitment to fiscal responsibility and strategic facilities planning. Without a strong financial position and intentional planning of our resources, we of course couldn't accomplish all of the other goals that I'm talking about today, and support all of our programs and operations that ultimately support our students, our families, and our community. So just last night, our school board approved the 2025 budget, which maintains strong reserves and continues to pay off debt at an aggressive pace. The Standard & Poor's global credit rating agency has recently increased its financial rating for Noblesville schools for the second time in 2 years, boosting our previous rating from AA- to AA. This ratings increase establishes Noblesville schools as one of the top 4 school districts in the state for financial management, giving us the same rating as our neighbors Carmel, Zionsville, and Hamilton Southeastern. S&P noted that the increased rating reflected Noblesville Schools' track record of delivering consistently strong financial operations while simultaneously lowering our tax rate. On that note, we have lowered our total school tax rate for residents for the 6th straight year in a row, and we know that this is more important than ever as our community does feel the pinch from rapidly rising home values, and we're working hard to do our part to create efficiencies and do more with less. These accomplishments are a result of the hard work and outstanding leadership of our CFO, David Hortemiller, and his team in the business office. So I want to give him and his team a huge thank you for their work. So far today, you've heard me mention our operating referendum several times. Many of the things that we're able to do for the children and families of Noblesville have been made possible only due to that support. Specifically, our referendum provides our district with critical funding that allows us to provide competitive salaries and benefits for our staff, increase student safety, mental health support, and many of the other programs and opportunities for students that you're hearing me talk about today. We do not take this funding for granted, and we are so appreciative for the support from our community so that we can continue providing the children of Noblesville with an outstanding school experience each and every day. Our current operating referendum will end in 2026, and it will be important that we discuss this with our community in the coming year as we consider what we want the future of Noblesville schools to be. Prior to making any decisions on a tax rate that may be proposed to our community, our administration and school board will carefully review the budget and our financial forecast so that we can ensure we consider a rate that minimizes impact on taxpayers while still achieving the goals and expectations that our community has set for our schools. It's important to note that while the board is responsible for having the initial conversation and placing that issue on the ballot, it is ultimately our community who decides whether to pass the referendum or not. Referendums are part of the funding model that has been designed by our state legislature, and the fact is that referendums have become an increasingly important part of the budget for many districts as a result of tax caps and other funding inequities between different communities. On the capital front, Noblesville High School has two new expansions, one that was recently completed this year and one that is in the works already for next year. Both projects use no referendum or classroom dollars, and neither one increased our overall school tax rate. So, this footage that we're happy to show you today is from just a few weeks ago, and it shows our recent athletic expansion, which we started with first so that we could most efficiently manage the construction, as some of this work needed to happen first to make room for the second project that I'm going to talk about next. This part of the building opened this past summer and provides new courts, new girls' locker rooms, classroom space, athletic office space, and enhancements for wrestling, cheerleading, and volleyball. I am very happy to share that this project came in under budget at $17.4 million. The project that is currently underway is an approximately $42 million investment into a major academic expansion that will add 70,000 square feet of new space in support of our STEM programs. It will also renovate 37,000 square feet for expanding our performing arts spaces. This project currently is on time and on pace to also be under budget. I mentioned earlier the huge growth that we've seen in STEM enrollments, and we have likewise seen 76% growth in our performing arts enrollments over the last 10 years. Specifically, as you think about what this expansion will do, it will include over 20 new classrooms, construction and welding labs, an expanded rehearsal space for our jazz band program, new percussion and piano lab areas, expanded choir facilities, storage and soundproofing, an additional cafe area for students, a hands-on makerspace, open room for large group meetings, which is actually already completed and being used. I was just there today for a meeting, actually. And plenty of storage for all of our programs and activities. If you've driven by the high school recently, I'm sure you've noticed how quickly this project is moving along. In fact, this footage is very recent, but I was just there 3 hours ago and it already looks different again because they're moving so quickly. We are on track to open the STEM area next summer and the performing arts area in late 2025. Once it is finished, we can't wait to welcome our community in to see these spaces, so be on the lookout for an invitation next year. An important aspect of effectively managing our resources is the timely maintenance and improvement of our facilities. To that end, our school board recently approved a bond, again with no increase to the tax rate, to address some of the less exciting but equally important needs that exist throughout our district. This $17.3 million bond will be addressing some paving needs, begin replacement of the almost 30-year-old air handling units at Noblesville High School. It'll be creating athletic restrooms and changing areas at East Middle School and for softball, and updating some of the technology tools that our students use each day. We do appreciate that our community survey feedback highlighted some areas, like money management, where we can provide more education and communication for our community. As you can imagine, school finance is complicated, and it does not always work like our home finances. To help us improve in this area, I'm excited to announce that we'll be launching a new communication initiative this year to make this information more understandable and more easily accessible. Specifically, we're developing a new financial online dashboard, which will allow us to improve school finance education and outreach for our community. So be on the lookout for more information about this new initiative in 2025. Our fifth goal focuses on engaging community relations. The Enhancing Community Relations goal is all about our ongoing commitment to strong relationships, partnerships, outreach, and transparent communications with our entire Noblesville Schools community. We offer a variety of outlets to keep Noblesville residents and families informed. In addition to our wide range of our usual communication outlets, this year we offered the community survey that I've referenced a few times today, and which also included listening sessions as part of our strategic plan process. The survey, which was administered by a professional data analytic firm, had over 3,000 adult responses, including parents, employees, and Noblesville residents. We also, for the first time, invited students to participate in the survey, and I'm happy to share that over 2,600 students in grades 6 through 12 gave us their feedback and input as well on how we're doing as their school system. New this year, we hosted a student-led school board candidate forum to help our community learn about our candidates. We have received so much overwhelmingly positive feedback about the forum, and so we will plan to do this again in future election cycles. Be on the lookout for your annual Connect publication, which will be mailed out to every resident in Noblesville schools coming up very soon in January. And if you haven't already done so, please be sure to subscribe to our digital newsletter, In the Know, and the link to do that can be found on our website. Partnering with our community was cited as one of our top strengths in that recent survey, and we're thankful for our strong relationships with our businesses and our civic partners. New this year, we launched the Business Partnership Exchange Initiative to create an ongoing opportunity to connect with our local business leaders. This forum is giving us a chance to share and learn about what's happening in our schools and how we can best support businesses' needs. If you're an area business leader and haven't been involved in this yet, please connect with Marnie Cook if you'd like to be invited to future sessions. I've mentioned several partners already, but I do want to pause for a minute and take this opportunity to thank all of our partners in the room. If you host an intern, provide financial sponsorships, partners support our students, or our Miller Ambassador, at this time I would ask you to please stand so that we can thank you. As a small token of our appreciation for many of our partners, this past year we recognized hundreds of our partners throughout Noblesville schools by hand-delivering a thank you message and a partner sticker that can be displayed at your business to show your support of our school system. These images behind me now are showing just a few more examples of our strong connections that we have in the community, including our technology staff assisting senior citizens with their tech needs. Our Miller Ambassadors Leadership Program is in its 8th year with almost 200 community members now who have shared with us in this behind-the-scenes learning experience. And new this year, I launched my Student Superintendent Advisory Council to better connect with our students and give them a voice in our district planning. It was tough for me to choose from the many outstanding applicants we had, but I'm happy to share that we have a strong mix of 4th through 12th graders representing all of our schools. And this week, the council has been meeting with food services to taste and provide feedback on new school menu items. And I'm going to go off script for just a second because yesterday was the elementary group. We have 2 groups, elementary and secondary, and they came in, and I don't know how many of you have elementary-age children. Probably most of us have at some point, or at least we know an elementary child. And I will tell you, elementary kids don't usually have a lot of fear of sharing their input. And so Ms. Simpson can tell you, yesterday we received some very valuable information about fish sticks. I had no idea how passionate we feel about the current fish sticks that we use, so I believe we may be revisiting those. But jokes aside, yesterday they had a chance to sample some new choices of cheese dip. They got to try some new French toast sticks, which were a big hit. And the last item was something to kind of broaden our culture horizons. They got to try tiki masala. And it was interesting because at first, many of the students were very, I don't know about this. But the minute one kid took a bite and said, this is great, everybody loved it. Everybody ate it. And it was very neat to see that when the food service team said, if we serve this in the future, how many of you would order it? And almost every hand went right up. It was great. So what will be very fun, last story, and then I have to get back on script. One young man brought up arroz con pollo, and he suggested that he thinks we need a little more kick to that dish. It's too bland. And so long story short, this led to a whole conversation of how could we do that, and sriracha came up, and so I know the food service team has looked into what it would take to get sriracha packets for these kids. And so this young man, I'm going to have to make sure I'm at his school for his lunch period whenever we get him first, because I think he's going to have a king in the mountain feeling walking into school when he says, everybody like that sriracha? You can thank me. So powerful stuff. So looking forward to tomorrow's the secondary group. Can't wait to see them tomorrow. So all right, back to my script. The final area I want to talk about today is celebrated school culture. Celebrated school culture is all about preserving, growing, and enhancing those special qualities that make Noblesville schools Noblesville schools. This is our commitment to nurturing a welcoming and innovative school community that honors our timeless traditions and our school spirit. It is still true that more students at Noblesville High School are actually involved in performing arts than they are in athletics. And this is certainly an area of expertise for us across all of our schools. We are proud to be named for the 10th year in a row as a national best community for music education. The Marching Millers were a Bands of America Indianapolis Super Regional finalist for the 2nd year in a row, and they've qualified again for state competition with their highest score ever, and marched this past year in the St. Patrick's Day Parade in Dublin, Ireland. Our varsity show choirs performed on stage at the Grand Ole Opry in national competition last spring, and our Winter Guard earned a state championship and placed 14th in national competition. Noblesville Winter Percussion placed 6th in a national competition, and our orchestra was the only group from Indiana to land a spot in a prestigious national orchestra competition that will be held next year. So be on the lookout for more information to come and how you can come and watch them perform. Athletics, of course, are also an important and exciting part of our school culture, and I'd like to give a special shout out to our soccer program, which I think we can now officially call a dynasty. Our girls have won 4 soccer state championships in the last 5 years, and they are headed back to state again this weekend. Girls and boys cross country are also going to state to compete this weekend. Boys soccer season has sadly ended for this year, but I do want to recognize that they won the last 3 state soccer championships in a row in 21, 22, and 23. Over the last 4 years, we've had 10 state championships, including girls track and field, unified track and field, girls cross country, girls basketball, and competitive cheer, in addition to the soccer program. In fact, since I have been your superintendent, the winning teams have kindly shared a state ring with me each time they win one, and I only need one more to make a perfect 10. So I look forward next year to having something on my hands when I come in for this talk with all of you. Many of our other athletic teams have earned conference, regional, and semi-state finishes, and we couldn't be prouder of all of our Miller student athletes. I'm also excited to share that this coming 25-26 school year, we will be celebrating 100 years as the Millers. It was in 1925 that the Noblesville Milling Company bought student uniforms in exchange for the naming rights, the Millers. So be on the lookout for some special opportunities to celebrate that milestone coming up next year. As Mrs. Cook likes to say, probably the best marketing deal in history, right? Ongoing multilingual student growth is another area where we are building and strengthening our culture as a district. As I mentioned earlier, 12% of our student population is multilingual with a wide range of English language proficiency. That percentage is across our entire district and is higher at some schools than others. For example, over 20% of students at Promise Road Elementary and White River Elementary are multilingual. I announced last year that we had created a designated space in our central office building in support of these families. This year, we've added an additional staff member in that center to meet the growing demand. We've also provided additional interpreter services and brought on a new bilingual social worker to serve our high-need schools. We are also using technology tools to support these students and families, including the use of several translation software tools and pocket translator devices. So these pictures behind me reflect just some of our many beloved traditions that make Noblesville so special. Things like our homecoming parade and class games, the Miller Man, graduation, our back-to-school bash, multilingual family night, Veterans Day celebrations, staff games, and award-winning athletics and performing arts. These are and will continue to always be areas of focus for us. Oh, there's a fun one. So, something new. I am excited to announce that coming in 2025, we will be launching a new Noblesville Schools Hall of Fame. As you know, we already have a high school athletic Hall of Fame, but this will have a different focus. Similar to the Noble Miller Initiative that was part of the district's 150th anniversary celebration, this will be a visible and permanent way that we can celebrate the legacy of staff and alumni who have demonstrated exceptional service, support, accomplishments, and contributions to Noblesville schools. The nominations officially open today, and you will get a QR code for the nomination form on our website as you leave our meeting today. This initiative is a collaboration between Noblesville Schools and our Noblesville Schools Education Foundation, and we anticipate announcing the first class of inductees at the 2025 Millerpalooza. We're currently exploring options for a permanent public structure to honor our Hall of Fame inductees, and we'll share more on that as we get details finalized in the months to come. So as we wrap up today, one of the things I love most about Noblesville Schools is how our district honors its rich history and traditions while still innovating and preparing our students for the future. As we discussed and developed the new strategic plan over the last year, those two ideals were always top of mind for everyone involved. I want to publicly thank our current school board and our leadership teams again for the work they've done to develop the plan and for the exciting work that lies ahead for all of us. This plan will be a living document, which will be updated periodically as the needs of our students and our community evolve. Additionally, district leaders will be presenting updates to the board regularly on these goals so we can share with our community the details of the work and the progress being made in all of these goal areas. As our community prepares to select our next school board members who will lead the district in 2025, I am truly excited for our next chapter together. So thank you as always for your constant support, and today, like all days, it's a great day to be a Miller. Thank you. I don't have an encore song ready for you, so that is truly the end of it. Thanks again for being here so much, and we'll see you soon.